Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another podcast. My name is Amir.
My name is Brendan.
And today we're joined by Mr. Gailyard. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Good afternoon. I'm Mr. Gailyard. I teach African American literature, and I'm happy to be on your show.
It's about 6'2", too.
That'd have been some intro.
Yeah, so how long have you been a teacher here at Wagner? Or just in general, actually?
So I've been a teacher for 11 years now. Damn. I started in 2012. Yes, I'm old. I mean, despite my young, youthful appearance, I'm quite a seasoned veteran at this thing now.
You don't look a day over 16.
You know, a good
Is it the
skincare
skincare?
routine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like,
What's the routine?
Do you good. Lots of Noxzema and lots of happy times, lots of smiles and less sad talk.
Letting things go, right?
Letting things go.
Yeah,
it's about peace this year.
It's about peace this year. That was in my New Year's resolution.
Peace.
That and
What else? What else was your New Year's resolution?
get some money. one of those worked, one of those didn't.
All right, so like, what was the craziest thing that's ever happened to you in the school? And you're 11 years working here that had some crazy.
Crazy things that happen in school. I was once teaching a class and a student got really upset and asked me, "Why won't you just pass me?" And I asked him, "Why won't you just do the work?"
Mm-hmm.
He got up, stormed out, and you know the square rectangle windows in the hallway?
Yeah.
Mhm.
They have like wire in them. So he went and punched through the wire and cut his hand up, and he had to go home. He was bleeding all over the place because he was upset because I asked him a question that he asked me. So that was probably the wildest thing I've ever been involved in.
Wait, that was here at Wagner?
That was at Wagner. That was in room 236.
And he just got up and just
He just got was
Falcon
like,
punched it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, he just one punched that thing and just broke his arm.
How do you like go about?
He punched through the window, and it was just because there's black like wires in it,
Mm-hmm.
and it literally just cut his hands all up, and he's walking down the hallway just dripping blood everywhere. And they're like, "What happened?" I was like, "Ask him."
And then he had to come into school the next day.
He was out of school for the next 2 days. I think he had to get like 4 stitches in his hand.
So
Came back and was like, "Mr. Garrett, I apologize for my behavior." I was like, "Okay."
Should be like, you'll give me a fist bump.
Right, so it's like, "Hey, buddy."
Chill, and then see what happens.
Oh, that's gonna be my next reaction. Question. So, do you know about like the whole like dealing with like school shooting things with arming teachers, right?
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
I feel like I was hired to do a few particular functions. One was to educate. 2, to help keep the school code and discipline in order. I never thought being armed would be part of that. I mean, I'm not trained for that, nor do I want to be trained for that, because I feel like the responsibility is too great to give me a weapon to have me like protect kids. Like us.
What about a slingshot and a rock?
You know, I would settle for like a blow dart, bow and arrows, like something that's not lethal, like the little beanbag shooters, one that shoots salt or pepper or something like that, like pepper balls.
Somebody would.
But what about what I don't understand is why they don't go with the security guards first. Like, it's not like let's arm the security guards. It's the teachers.
I mean, that would be a strategic move, but do you know how many school shootings there have been in New York City public schools?
0.
0.
Oh yeah. I do know
So
that.
with that 0 risk, a lot of things that we do are not forethought. It usually is always hindsight. So it almost something ultimately has to happen first before things change. We're a very reactive society. We're not really proactive with much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we have to wait until something happens so that we can change it.
Damn,
Pretty much.
Yeah.
We should just do it. Like, we should prevent it before.
That would be
That would be
a logical way to do this.
We don't do that.
I don't know why, but that's just kind of how we've always operated. I'm not sure why.
I think if they drop me with a slingshot,
Yeah.
I could probably.
We're not doing that.
I could do some business.
You're not doing anything, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, you know.
So yeah, you've been in your fair share of relationships, right?
Fair share, yeah.
Do you think relationships are always 50-50? So you give your 50, she gives her 50, life's good?
You know, I used to think that. When I went through a divorce, I read this book called Getting the Love You Want. And it was primarily about your relationship is never 50-50, because after a long day, if I come home and I only have 30% to give, I need the other 70 from you. If you come home tomorrow and you can only give me 10, then I have to give you 90. It's never going to be even, because two people never feel the same way about anything. So I don't think it'll ever be 50-50, or worst case or best case scenario, you're both feeling it, then you both give 100. Like, you both got to give all of you or none of you.
What about splitting the bill?
Splitting the bill. You know what's funny? I was never like a bill splitter. my girlfriend now, love her to death. She kind of changed my perception on relationships. Like, we sit down and we'll go to dinner, and the bill will come. I'll just take out my credit card, pay it, everything else. Then like 2 seconds later, my phone goes off. I look and it's like, oh, a Zelle payment for $80. I'm like, what are you doing? She's like, I ate, so I paid.
She ate $80 worth?
What are you guys eating?
160?
I mean, this is like us going to like, like Old Homestead,
Taco
like
Bell,
Ruth's Chris, something like that. Like, I wish if we spent 180 in Taco Bell, we got a problem.
What is Ruth's Chris? Because I've heard about that a lot, but I don't know what that is.
Like it's a nice steakhouse. I mean, it's
it's a steakhouse,
but it's more of a chain instead of like Old Homestead or like I can't think of another one.
We have one in New York.
There's a Ruth's Chris in New Jersey.
Oh, New
there
Jersey.
might be one in Manhattan now, but this is like years. This is like a few years ago.
I heard about it in Playboy Cardi song.
Playboy Cardi.
Who do you listen to? Who's like your favorite singer?
My favorite
rapper.
My favorite rapper of all time, or like right now?
Of all time.
Of all time, I'm probably, I have to say Jay-Z. I know it feels like a cliche answer, but I mean that's just my era of music. So I'd have to go with Jay-Z now and probably for a while.
I'm more of a Lil Pump guy, honestly.
I can see it in your face. I can see it in your face and your smile.
Okay.
What about Eminem? Do you like Eminem?
I like Eminem. Eminem is definitely like if you like to analyze rap, Eminem is like a good person to study because I think like cadence, word choice, but sometimes he gets too silly and his antics kind of oversaturate what he's talking about.
Like Mom Spaghetti wasn't a bar. That was a bar. Mom Spaghetti is a bar. It's a famous bar right there.
I feel like that song is probably one of the most popular songs like ever besides like Macklemore's like Thrift Shop. Like I feel like
I still think about that one.
Right, like you still could hear
Mom
it.
Spaghetti.
But like now he has Mom Spaghetti's like restaurant.
That's a thing?
What?
Yeah, there's a restaurant in Detroit called Mom Spaghetti.
I think that's him.
It's named it's his restaurant.
Him.
He has his restaurant.
His.
He has his sneaker store. The restaurant's called Mom Spaghetti.
Maybe we should do a podcast there.
No, I'm not doing a podcast of Mom Spaghetti.
Mom Spaghetti.
Mom Spaghetti. You might change the game with that one.
That's
going to be a like and subscribe moment all day.
Like and subscribe if you want some Mom Spaghetti. We'll ship it directly to you. No fees attached. No delivery fee. Nothing.
Everything. Just Mom Spaghetti.
All right.
Mom
So
Spaghetti.
you told me about your Instagram page called Black Man Behind the Cam. I'll link it at the bottom right here.
Of course.
I'll put
Good
the at.
good
So how did
Google.
you get into that? Because I looked at those pictures. Those pictures are really good. Like,
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Photography for me, photography is like therapy. It's like the world is full of like chaos, and it's like you take a picture of something and you like can slow the chaos down or freeze it into something that's more manageable for you to interpret better. So like during like COVID and after that, just kind of found something different to do. First it started, I was just walking. I was just walking for a while and I was looking at things and be like, oh, that's cool. I wish I had a camera. And I was like, my phone wasn't that great at the time. So I was like, I'll buy a camera, see how it goes. And now it's just going. Like it's just, I started to share more. Eventually, I wasn't going to begin an Instagram page. But my friend's like, oh, you should show this to people. I'm like, why? Who cares? Like, I'm taking these pictures for me. He's like, yeah, but let people see them. I'm like, all right. I'll post stuff. I turn the likes off because I don't want to know. I just it's just kind of just sharing because I'm not really concerned with like likes and followers and stuff. But it's like I got like 700 followers just from.
Wait, really?
yeah.
Like no promotion. You just put it out.
I just put pictures out and people just find me from, posting,
the feed, stuff like that.
Yeah. So it's like, I ultimately like kind of settled in like street photography because it's so easy to just replicate everywhere. At least to find like subjects to do it. Taking pictures of people. Sometimes you feel like a peeping Tom. Sometimes you feel like you're not supposed to be there, but I think that's the point. Like to be like.
You ever take a picture of
flying
something
wall.
like too crazy? You gotta be like, nah, I gotta delete that. I probably can't post that one.
If you look at my Instagram, there's a picture of this guy.
Oh,
He's
Lord.
dressed as a clown.
Oh, never mind.
And he's like this brolic dude. I'm walking by Penn Station and he comes walking by me and I'm like, wow, this dude's scary. I'm like,
Let me
I
take a
gotta
picture of
this
him. Let me take a
Right.
picture of
Let
him.
me take a
Like
selfie.
nobody would believe this was real unless I had. Street photography is about documenting the streets. So it's like this guy but he has a radio in his hand. He's blasting Celine Dion "Forever Will I Go On" or whatever.
He's
else.
not-
Yeah, he had
he's
no other
computer
choice.
generated. That's not a real
Like,
person right there.
He's not real. He has on a clown mask. He's like brolic but fat too. It's like a weird mix. It's like if the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man went to the gym for like 3 weeks
and then just stop going.
and then just stop going. It feels like that. And he's like walking by me and I'm like maybe as far away from we are from the camera, and I pull my camera up and I'm just like, snap, snap. I took 2 pictures.
And then ran away.
And then just kept walking down the street like, no, okay, I'm not gonna look around. If
And
he's
you were-
behind me, he's gonna have to chase me.
And you were singing the Celine Dion lyrics though, too, right?
I heard the Celine Dion music fading. I was like, all right, he's getting further away. He's not following me.
You turn around, he's right behind you.
Right, standing right behind
Through the
me.
radio.
Like
Music
the
off.
mirror. From what you've seen in high school, like, and like you've been here for 11 years, do you think high schoolers can like kind of form like that true love?
You think they're capable?
I highly doubt you're capable enough to understand how to love someone else, because most of you are still figuring out like how you like to receive love. So like you can't really know how to give it until you audibly go through how to receive it. Like you have to know what makes you feel loved first before you can deliver that to someone else.
So in high school, did you have like a sweetheart or anything?
You know what's funny? My ex-wife, I started dating her in 7th grade, and we dated off and on
Really?
all
Wow.
through 7th grade, high school, and then and just kind of it just evolved. So I didn't really have any other like people I really liked in high school. Like, you know, I mean, junior high anyway, we kind of dated off and on. It really wasn't a lot of time to do that. But in high school, like, I don't envy you guys for doing the things that you have to do, and everything you do is on camera, and most of it is documented by you. Like, you document fire drills, like, oh, fire drill, y'all, it's lit.
Nah, every time we have a fire drill, somebody takes a picture of the truck. Like, we were not all there. I don't get it personally.
Right. Like, why does that thing that goes out, like, we all,
when it starts snowing?
so the same fire truck go, we all know it's raining, we all are leaving the
We
building.
see the fireworks. We see the
Right.
concert.
We all see the cool vest the team has to wear when they evacuate us. We all see that.
Mm-hmm.
So you did it here in college?
By the time we went to college, I was married at 24.
Oh, wow.
Like at 24, like you're kind of just beginning your life.
And you got married?
Got married at 24, had my first kid at 27, and you know, time just goes by. You think you have the idea of in your head that marriage is forever, but then nothing really is. Like you appreciate the moments. Like now, I kind of live for the moment now. I'm kind of.
Do you think you developed into that, or you were always kind of like that?
I had to glow up. Right now, you're looking at like almost
Prime.
like a prime like whole person. Right
Prime Jordan.
Like, you know what I'm saying? This is a 45 Jordan. This is re 23 now. Like this is where I'm at. This is where I'm at in life.
What is this, like flu game Jordan?
Flu game Jordan.
Coming in the clutch.
You know, like you have to. Sometimes you got to walk through fire just to know that, like, you know, like you got to test yourself almost. Like, you got to be battle tested to know like where you stand and how you respond to, you know, strife. I've had hella strife, and now life is pretty good. I can't really complain. I teach a class I love. I'm with a partner that I love. I can't really. I can't say anything.
You just
I
live
can't
a
say
good
anything
life.
bad.
You just live like a good life.
Pretty much, you know, when you get like a sense of peace, things just kind of fall in together. It makes life whole.
Yeah, maybe once I get like a sense of peace, Brendan will fall.
All right, I don't know about all that. See, that's like we just can't do stuff, do nice stuff. Do you know what guy code is?
Yes,
Do you believe in it? Like, are you a strict believer of guy code?
100%.
Really?
I've had conversations with friends like, oh, you know, like, would you know, so and so, I know you guys broke up, but can we date? I'm like, I don't care what you do with her. Like, but I'm just saying, like, oh, it's like a guy code thing. Yeah, like that's just how guy code works. Like, if all of us are gonna date her, I don't want her.
Oh, okay.
That's facts.
And same thing goes for women. I feel like women have like a really stricter thing, like with it. At least women. I can't speak for girls. Like women, I know. Like, oh, once you date a woman's friend, you can never date the woman. Like it's just out of pocket at that point. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Guy code.
I think what's it called? Social media for kids really like exaggerates all of that. Like you can't, like if you're a guy, like there's this and you can't do that. But so like back in your time, I don't want to say it like that. Like
In the 1640s.
Back in my day.
back in like, you know, like the dinosaur age. So when you guys didn't have a lot of that, right? There wasn't like a lot of like crazy social media back then, right? Or was there?
Our social media back in my day.
Like Facebook.
I predate Facebook. I predate MySpace. Like I have Polaroids of me like at like clubs and like venues hanging out.
Selfie.
Like everyone
Like
this Polaroid.
somebody
real quick.
like, yo, take this picture of
Oh,
us.
Wait, really?
Pose for the Polaroid.
Damn.
Yeah.
And letters were like you gotta throw it with like a brick. You gotta tie the letter in a brick and throw it at their house.
And if you needed to like send a message, you like tie it to a raven.
And then
Right?
you just let it go.
You know, like when I went to see a girl, I have to walk down the street and be like, yeah, pull out the window. It wasn't like.
Where did you grow up?
I lived in Brooklyn until I was about 9 or 10. I moved to Staten Island in 91. And then I've been here ever since. So it's like, you know, people ask me where I'm from, and I always say like, oh yeah, I'm from Brooklyn by way of Staten Island. Like that's kind of where I'm at now. I've been in Staten Island more years than I've been in Brooklyn, but you know, I still hold Brooklyn near and dear to me because it's just where I'm from.
What do you think is the biggest difference?
Between Brooklyn and Staten Island,
Yeah. People, right?
the people is the biggest difference. People in Brooklyn are so much. I don't know. It just felt more like a cordial like community to me. Staten Island's very like pocketed in places. It's like, you know, people could look at you and tell you're not from Great Kills, you're not from the Harbor, and you're not from West Brighton. Like in Brooklyn, I feel like maybe I was too young to appreciate that, but we didn't really do that. It was like, yeah, I'm from
Everybody's just from
Bed-Stuy,
Brooklyn.
but yeah, now I'm in this place. I grew up on Utica, but now I'm on, Bowling Green, like whatever. It never was like a territorial thing, but then again, I was 9, so it's like I'm not gonna really see that value the way I see it now in Staten Island.
Any crazy stuff happened when you were in Brooklyn? From then to 9?
I mean, listen, I grew up kind of the height of like the crack era. I remember going to school.
Yeah, Brennan was part of that.
What is happening?
Yeah.
He stopped saying like a crack baby.
I remember like literally going to school and like having to like step over people who were high and step over people who were, actively using drugs in front of me and having to be like, okay, and just go to school. It was a lot of risk in living in Brooklyn, especially in like the poorer parts, because you just never know what you're going to see, what to expect. Like your parents had to like walk us to school and make sure like we got there, but now it's like I could just Life 360 my kids. I know where they are like right now.
Oh, so you using Life 360?
I use Life 360 for my oldest son. He's the only one that has a phone. He's in 8th grade. And it's like hardly like if I'm like he's not home yet. Oh, I can Life 360 him. It's like I have to rethink about having that app. And it's like he'll be at like the park with his friend or something. He's like, oh, sorry, I forgot to text you. I'm like, all right. I mean, I figured you were all right. I'm not seeing it move frantically. I'm not seeing it go off and on. So I figure he's fine.
Do you do like location with your girlfriend?
No, we don't share locations.
Yeah,
we don't share locations. I don't have the password to her phone. She doesn't have the password to mine. That just creates like toxicity. It's like, if I have to walk in and subpoena my phone to you, how much do you love me? How much do I love you if I got to do that?
That's true because like as we speak right now, like my girlfriend tied a rope to my
I think my girlfriend
is that
put
what that rope is? I was wondering what I was
my
stepping
girlfriend put
on
an air
this
tag
whole
in my
time.
granola today. I had to swallow it, and she's been tracking me since. I'm not gonna lie.
Nice. That's how you do it.
If she gets mad at me, she tugs the rope and
Nice.
I got to get pulled back home.
Nice.
But yeah,
Listen, that's new love though.
That's
Like,
love.
kinda-
That's love.
And this new space is kind of like, well, why wouldn't you want to share your location with me? Amir?
Yeah.
Don't you love me?
like why can't I bite
you're
you?
like, share, I guess.
You like that one, Jacob?
Why can't I buy a voodoo doll
Jacob
of
is
you
back
and just
there.
like start controlling you? I'm like,
Right.
no. And they just, I don't know.
No, man.
Like, yes, I need your social, Brandon. Why?
I need your social security number
and
now.
the 3 wacky numbers in the back. Anyway,
Right.
so actually, I just want to bring this up because I was having like an argument at work
Okay.
with my boss because he thinks that the moon landing, right? He thinks that the moon landing was fake.
Seriously?
Yeah, what do you think? Because a lot of people,
Nah, some people like Kyrie Irving. Moon landing's not real. Earth is
Earth
flat.
is flat.
it might be though.
No, it's not.
I'm
Or
kidding,
it
I'm
is. I don't know.
Like it might be. I feel like people put a lot of faith in things, and then it's like when something goes against what you wholeheartedly believe, then you feel like you have to hold on to the belief longer or harder. It's like, oh, there's no way. Look, you can see there's a spark here. You can see the flag doesn't move right. There's no marks.
That's what I was thinking. Like, there's no wind on the moon, right?
Yeah, Amir was
Right.
getting. He was getting like. He was
No,
also
I
starting
was-
with.
no,
he was
because
like, if
I-
you really think about it, like the
No,
moon, the moon.
He was bringing up points, but I just didn't have the facts to like negate it. So he was like, there's no like, how did they have fuel to go there and back? And I was like,
Right.
I don't know. Like, I'm not a I'm about to say scientist. I'm not an astrologist. That's not the right
Stars.
one. That's not the right one. Hold
Stars.
on,
You're
wait,
good.
wait, wait.
You're not an astronaut.
Astronaut.
Don't worry, I got you.
Yeah. No. That's what I was going
You
to.
believe the moon landing's real?
I think it's. I mean, the moon landing is 1967, 68, something like that.
Mhm.
Check.
Like-
yes, it's all right.
Like, why would somebody want to fake that? I mean, I guess we were trying to beat Russia to the moon, and if we televise it, and it looks like this one big deep fake. I mean, I feel like I don't know if our government's that smart.
Mhm.
Like, honestly, I don't want to give us that much. I don't want to say we're terrible, but I don't want to give us that much credit either.
You mean the conspiracy theories, like aliens are real?
Yeah, Area 51. We found aliens years ago. I mean, I feel like you guys are gonna live to that generation where finally those things are declassified, and then you really get the real answers. Like, yeah, we something landed here in 1948, and we've kept it this whole time. And here he is. His name is Joe. And they're
Standing
gonna,
at 4'11".
you know, from parts unknown, like it's gonna be like a wrestling thing.
Honestly, if there was aliens, it's probably Giannis because realistically,
It's probably
he's too good.
Giannis
Or Curry.
or Victor Wembanyama.
Or Curry. He's just
Yeah,
his
no.
game is too good. I mean,
yeah, no, I don't know.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt that. Maybe they disguise themselves as like athletes. Maybe like Space Jam isn't that far off.
Probably is. I'm not gonna lie. Like
Space
me,
Jam.
like I could be like the next Jordan, right?
100%.
all right,
Thank
next
you,
question
thank
because
you.
that's definitely
Like you get the right dose of Mike's secret stuff. 100%.
Exactly.
if you
Thank
put on
somebody.
if you
Make it
put on the
happen.
KD shoes,
If somebody agrees with me,
starstruck.
if I throw the ball at the mascot, if I
First,
say
you probably have to start with being able to make a three.
Okay.
But did you play basketball in high school?
I played basketball for Pershman for like 2 years.
you was nice, be honest.
I was definitely not nice. I was not a great team ball player. I was more like a street ball fan. Like
Me
I
too.
just and
That's why you're not
That's
on the team
why
this year.
it never clicked. Me and the game, we fell off. You
it just
know,
never worked out.
that's what I
Never
tell
worked
people.
out.
Right. And listen, sports isn't for everyone. Some people are just like super athletic in one thing and then kind of flimsy in another.
Mhm.
I mean, I love basketball to death. Like I play basketball with my sons all the time. We throw around the football at home, but it's like competitively, I'm like, at 41, I think it's time for me to just give these old knees and these old bones a break.
You're not gonna slam it on your. You're gonna slam it on your son.
Oh no! If he puts the rim to 8 feet,
Pause.
if he puts the rim on 8 feet, I'm gonna Shaq attack him 100%. I'm gonna
Put it
break
on.
the backboard and everything, and I'm gonna have to just rebuy it. I might put on the Shaq Gnosis. I might just do a whole bit. I don't know yet.
Do you watch the NBA?
I watch the NBA time to time. It's like mostly I'll catch like YouTube highlights of a game. It's like 15 minutes because it's like sometimes at night I feel like I'm doing so many other things. I'm like reading or like watching TV or looking at like camera videos and stuff that I want to do. So it's like I'm like, oh, the game is on. Like in my mind, I'm like, who's on my fantasy team that I have to watch? Other than that, I'm just like, doesn't really matter. Steph Curry makes 3 threes, then I'll win this game.
Because he's just so good.
Alright.
But listen, let me hit you with a real question.
Okay.
LeBron or Jordan?
Oh jeez.
Who's the GOAT?
LeBron or Jordan, who's the GOAT? I think GOAT talk is a very specific time to eras.
Okay.
So my era being born 1982,
He gonna be a fan.
Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player I've ever seen.
I
in
think
real
if
life.
LeBron came before
Oh my
Jordan,
God,
though,
here
you
we
gonna have to
go.
hear me out. If LeBron came before Jordan, he would be like the ununanimous GOAT.
The ununanimous.
LeBron is an anomaly because he's so big, he's so strong, he's physical.
He's so big.
Michael
he's so
Jordan.
strong.
Michael Jordan was pause. Let's bring it back. Let's focus Brendan out. Yeah, he's like he's a physical specimen. Like, he had Magic Johnson's like height, but he was just a much more strong person. Michael Jordan was more like grace, finesse, but he could get hit. I see LeBron take hits and just like fall to the ground and like crumble like glass.
How do you
Just like,
defend
what
that?
happened?
Yeah.
What do you mean? How? If he's 6, first of all,
What? He's 6'9". He should be able.
in the world that's happening today, you got to play in your like.
In the world that's
nobody
happening
was
today?
flopping back in like in Jordan's era.
No,
But everybody's flopping now.
People were getting hit and like punched in the face and bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like after the game, you guys like hug and go to dinner.
Well,
Like the Bulls Michael Jordan didn't hug Isaiah Thomas, didn't go to dinner after that. He like looked at Isaiah Thomas, gave him like the middle finger and walked off.
first of all,
Like you ever heard of Larry Bird? Larry Bird would do the most disrespectful.
First of all, Larry Bird was the coldest white boy ever alive. He
100%.
literally was the coldest
100%.
white man to ever
100%.
be
Did you
born.
remember? You heard he used to like tell people the move he was about to pull on them,
And then he
Pull
did it, and then he did
make
it.
the shot, and then dap them up after.
Larry
Crazy.
Bird was
then take their wives
was,
out.
But Larry Bird was filthy. Like he'd be like, I'm gonna dribble twice, go left, and then make the shot, and then I'll talk to you later.
And then I'm gonna slap you in the butt, and then you're gonna cry later.
I'm gonna
That's
make the
exactly what's gonna
shot, and I'm gonna take your wife out for dinner, and maybe I'll bring you back a steak or
and you
something.
got nothing. You can do nothing
You can
about
take
it.
the leftovers.
You can do nothing about it.
Yeah, it was a savage NBA. Now I feel like the NBA is too.
Too much LeBron.
Stop.
I don't want to say it's too soft, but it's a lot softer of a game than it ever was.
Mhm.
But LeBron, I mean, if we're talking era talk, LeBron is the GOAT of his era. I mean,
That's true.
but
Wait.
then again, then you got to talk championships though, and he doesn't have more than Kobe. So it's like who do you
Bill
go
Russell has 10 championships. He's not the GOAT.
Robert Horry
He's
has
some people's
7,
GOAT.
and
Yeah,
Robert
he's-
Horry played for 5
but-
different teams,
but-
and he really didn't do much.
Yeah.
So if you can't keep it on rings, but now LeBron has like the stats to back up the ring conversation.
Hey, so if you get put in 48 minutes to an NBA game, how many points are you dropping?
That's a good question.
Realistically, you get the ball
Me?
every play,
if I
have
get
a
the ball
follow-up question
every
to that,
play,
like -4, right?
and if I play a full NBA game,
Listen,
I'm getting at least in the double digits.
A 10
you
point,
think
you
so?
think you're double digits?
I think I'm getting
wait,
10 points. in the
We
NBA
have
round.
we have to put you up against like a specific team.
Give me a team.
Like the Nuggets.
Okay.
I gotta play against the Nuggets. Who's the who's the
Jokic.
guard on the Nuggets?
You got
Jamal
Jokic.
Murray.
Jamal
Aaron
Murray.
Gordon.
Jamal Murray.
You're soft
Dunking on him.
Jamal Gordon.
J- J-
Jamal Gordon.
Jamal Murray.
Jamal Murray. I'm probably crossing him to death. and I'm lefty too, so I'm gonna hit him with a couple fakes. I might have the Jamal Crawford handle him one day. Just and then I'm probably got a 48-minute game. I get the ball every time. I might score 11 points in the NBA.
11 points. We
11
gotta set that
points.
up. We gotta set
Right
that up.
now-
We gotta call him
gotta
up
set
right
that
now.
Right now at 41, I'm putting up 11.
Just babying him in the paint.
100%. I'm an old man back.
You gotta
the
hop
whole
in
time.
the student versus faculty game. See how many points you drop in there.
See, I never play student versus faculty because I feel like it's too much of a spectacle. I'd rather be on the sidelines just watching with everyone else. Like
And be
How
like,
about
"Damn,
coaching?
I could have made that.
coaching. Coaching is almost like trying to teach your peers something new. It's like if they played any basketball in their whole life, they're like, oh, yeah, we're going to run a box man out and screen. I'm like, those aren't plays.
So everybody go out and catch the ball, shoot the ball,
And then
Right.
just
make it.
You know,
We're
like
good.
have fun. Don't get hurt. That's my thing. It's like I'm like my whole biggest thing. Like I've seen so many people get injured in that student faculty game. That's like
really?
Yeah, no,
I don't-
they get
they
because
be tearing-
they take it serious. Like,
at 1 year there was a science teacher who went up for a rebound, came down, broke his hip.
Oh, definitely Sinclair.
Not Sinclair.
nah, but there was some
another
physics
teacher
involved.
who played last year or 2 years ago, whenever that was, and she ended up tearing her Achilles. Like it was like a freak thing, and she just tore her Achilles playing
She's
the
out
game.
for the rest of the season too.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, and there's no like bonus money for tearing your Achilles. It's not like a thing.
She could be in the Olympics though. Don't worry. She could be come back
She's-
for summer
she-
school.
Listen, she's still a goat.
She's still a
She's
goat.
still the goat of her era.
So how about, here's another one. In an NFL game.
I was about to ask
in an
this
NFL game, it's do you think you can get 1 yard as a running back?
As a running
Wait,
back,
you have 4 downs. You have
It's like
4
4
downs to get
downs.
I have
1
You get
four
yard.
1
downs to
yard.
get 1 yard. Who's the fullback though? That's what counts. The fullback's what's gonna sell it.
I don't know.
Kyle Juszczyk, I'm getting 3 yards. I'm getting 2 yards of rush with Kyle Juszczyk. Even though once I go down, I'm not gonna get back up. So I gotta get that
Yeah,
1 yard
no.
in one
Dive
game.
in there.
I heard that like tackling in the NFL is
Oh
like
my
completely
God.
different. Like they, bro.
Like imagine Aaron Donald is coming against you head to head.
what is
Aaron-
your next
Like,
move?
what's your
My next move is to get into the field position and just be like, like if I'm a quarterback in the NFL, I'm scared to death because first of all, your helmet limits your vision. So it's like now, if your left tackle is trash,
Aaron Donald, the
and you're like,
6'6".
oh look, somebody's coming. Then next thing you know, you're getting blown up. I don't know if you guys are old enough to remember watching. There was an injury on TV of a quarterback named Joe Theismann. He played for the and Lawrence Taylor hit him. He hit him so bad that he broke his thigh. His leg was laying next to him on the ground, like through.
We should put that clip. We should
It
put that
was,
clip.
it was an awful injury, but it's like injuries like that happen so frequently in that era of the NFL. It was just, it wasn't a lot of rules to protect the quarterback, to protect the defensive receiver. All these things that last like 8 or 9 years to improve the game, to help the longevity of the players. And like now, I mean, Michael Vick used to wear a flak jacket because he was getting hit so much that he had bruised ribs every single game for 17 games.
Yo, I got a crazy question.
Let's do
How many 8-year-olds do you think it would take you down? How many do you think you can just keep on kicking?
Where?
How many-
That's a good question.
Why did you just now?
'Cause
Because
I
that's
was
not
like-
on the. That's not on the sheet.
It's not on the. It's not on the.
Why did
I'm
you
just
just now
thinking,
think
I was
of
just
that?
thinking about it. I
How
was
many
like,
8-year-olds? Are they like average size 8-year-olds?
yeah, average size 8-year-olds.
a LeBron James size.
No, not LeBron. Like average size Joe.
Average size
8-year-olds.
8-year-olds.
Go to PS58.
And me, I have to run the length of the field, 100 yards.
No. Like they're just all coming at you one by one.
Can I stiff arm them?
Yeah.
And run through
No,
them?
this is not football. This is pure survival.
Oh, survival.
This
Oh,
you gotta survive.
I could survive. I don't know, 100, 200.
All right, so bring him in.
Bring them in one at a time.
got
All right, we want you to stand in the middle right there. You
And
got 30 seconds.
You got nothing. You guys gotta survive. 108-year-olds?
8-year-olds. I mean, realistically, an 8-year-old is about 35 pounds. Probably like
An
20.
wait. Oh, I was thinking 8th grader.
No,
Hold on,
an
never mind.
8-year-old is like 35 pounds. My 10-year-old son is 52 pounds, so I would say 8-year-old, 38 pounds, 35 pounds.
To be fair, Brendan is like
Like 24 pounds on a good day.
It's like-
If
it's
I
like
ate-
50 pounds.
if I ate-
24 pounds just for survival. What do I have on me? Just my arms and legs?
Yeah, just your bare bones. You got fisticuffs. You gotta start pooping.
it's like a bar fight. and you gotta
I
get
feel
it.
like being 5'10", 230 something pounds.
You could just sit on them.
It would be a lot of kicks and a lot of stiff arms. I would just be dragging kids with me. Like, all right, let's go. We're all going together then.
Now they all have knives. No, I'm kidding.
So, do you have any like unpopular opinions about just anything? Like what's your most unpopular opinion?
My most unpopular opinion. That's a good question.
You can think about this one. This one's kind of a
Unpopular opinion.
I personally think that
most unpopular opinion. Like Amir cannot guard me at any
Yeah,
literally
he's right.
anything.
No,
like
he-
any.
he's
but
right, though.
It's actually
It's a very
popular. No, but it should be.
unpopular
I meant popular.
no, you said what you
Any
meant. You said what you meant. It's actually called a Freudian slip when you say what you're actually thinking.
Truth.
So yeah,
You got one. Or?
I personally think eggs belong on syrup. I mean, syrup belongs
Oh.
on eggs, but
Syrup belongs on eggs.
Yeah.
you've never tried it.
I have.
I think
It's
we should
weird.
be
It depends on the
assassinated.
texture of the eggs, though. It's got to be like
Scrambled?
Like
it's gotta
scrambled
be
eggs.
Scrambled eggs? Sure. So you're saying more than ketchup, you'd rather use syrup?
If I was Game 7, if I had to pick
Over under.
if I had to pick ketchup or syrup to put on my eggs, breakfast, I'd pick.
Iguodala.
I'd pick syrup.
All right.
I would do.
You know what?
You know what's weird? People call me weird. I do cucumbers and sugar.
Cucumbers and
I'll put you
sugar.
on. That is. I'm telling you right now. If you watch this, get some cucumbers,
Don't do that.
put some sugar, and just bro, eat it. It's gas. I'm telling you right now, it's gas.
Cucumbers and sugar. Huh.
Yeah,
That's probably a wildly unpopular opinion.
That's very
That's not even that
wildly
wild.
unpopular.
I
If
feel like
you-
I mean I've had like my cucumber phase. I was having cucumber and like Tostitos like spinach dip. Like,
Yeah,
I would have
nah.
that because I feel
No,
like
that
that just
sounds
went
kinda
together.
We gotta kick him out for that, right?
That
That-
sounds
oh, we
kind
gotta
of
leave
good.
him.
That
That-
sounds kind of good.
Trust me, that is fire. Try that. Cucumber. I'll try cucumber and sugar if you try cucumber and Tostitos.
I could do that. I could do that.
Wait, which Tostitos dip?
Tostitos the spinach dip.
Oh, like the spinach and artichoke dip?
Yeah.
That. Oh my god, it's
I haven't
fire.
heard of that.
Spinach artichoke is
It's
it's
good
fire. With
stuff.
cucumbers though?
Cucumbers.
Just cold?
Cold diced cucumbers, and you can even leave the skin on if you want. That good.
Maybe we should try that next podcast.
And what if like
If you guys start throwing up, you're gonna get so many more views. After that. So many
And we'll
more.
put it in the thumbnail, and I'll put it everywhere.
So do you have an unpopular opinion?
Unpopular opinion. My unpopular opinion is that I eat cereal without milk.
I don't know about that one.
I told you.
You know what? Brendan eats his cereal with water.
What are you? no. It was a rough. First
you-
of all,
are you in
it was a rough
Cereal with
morning.
water?
It was a rough morning.
You
I
mistook
poured-
water for milk?
I poured my bowl, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't check the fridge. So I poured my
Rookie
bowl.
mistake.
It was already. I had my spoon. I go into the fridge. First of all, whoever put the empty carton of milk should be sent. They put the empty carton of milk.
Sentenced.
I was like, and there was like a little bit of milk already on it. So I was like, okay, I'm not gonna eat this bare. That's crazy. That's wild. So I was
Bare.
like, I don't even got orange juice. You know what? I look.
Orange juice?
I look. Would have put orange juice.
You're
on
gonna
it.
put orange juice on milk?
I look. Would have put orange juice after it, but I didn't. So I put water.
Wow.
And you enjoyed it.
No, but I had to do it. I had to do it.
Wow.
Survival.
You were just a victim of circumstances.
Yeah, I was a victim of
Victim of
no
circumstance?
milk. My
No.
dad wants to get the milk, never came back, and that's what I got left with milk and water.
Wow.
I mean water and cereal.
It's real love right there. Brendan, I'll be right back.
No.
But
Yeah,
honestly,
just
like I'll
do it
have
again.
milk. I mean, I'll have cereal, and just
Hold on.
dry with a glass of orange juice or a glass of milk on the side. I don't.
See,
I
a
don't-
glass
Wait,
of orange
but
juice,
like at that
exactly,
point,
it's
you
the
gotta.
same
Do you go in with your hands or do you eat it with a spoon?
At that point, I'm eating it like it's popcorn. Like
Oh, you just
You
popping
know
them
what?
in.
You know what? I respect that because I do
like a
that too
snack.
sometimes.
Okay.
I do that.
oh no, I'm not gonna spoon just regular milk with
I thought you were
regular
still
cereal.
fisting just. Start dogging him.
Like a 3-year-old.
Yeah, exactly. Gonna start dogging him.
Cereal everywhere.
I thought you was gonna start dogging him.
All right, I should have prefaced that.
Yeah.
So I treat cereal like a snack, not really like a meal. So it's like I'll just have like whatever cereal my kids are eating at the time, Cocoa Puffs or Lucky Charms, something just like snacks.
Yeah. So I find I'm about to hit you with a crazy segue right now.
Oh, here we go.
So I find what Brennan just said about this cereal and what was water?
Water.
Cereal and water wildly disrespectful. How do you deal with disrespect?
Disrespect.
Crazy
Like
segue.
a kid
Crazy
disrespects you. Yeah, it was
Man, I gotta be honest. It's been a long time since I felt disrespected by a kid.
Really.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just. I mean, when you're like him, it's hard.
When you're him, just when you got that him status, you don't do anything.
You're Hemi Neutron. It's hard to
know,
get disrespected.
But no, like it's wild. Like I haven't really thought about it. Like people ask me all the time, like, "Oh, Gary, what would you do if a kid hit you?" I'll be like, "Lay down and retire." I'm
Really?
like,
I want a 360 no scope.
That's what he
no
means.
scope them.
Right. Like at that point, it's like like it's whatever. But no, I haven't. I feel like disrespecting is like it's like a measurement almost. Like if kids are talking while you're talking, you're just like, hey guys, like enough, and then eventually the other kids start quieting each other. So it's like you could just stop and back up and let them like Lord of the Flies that thing, and you don't have to say anything.
Mm-hmm.
Or I haven't felt disrespected in a long time. Honestly, it's been like years probably since I even felt that way. Like now I feel like I've kind of established so many like better working relationships, whether that's in the building or like if kids need me outside of the building. I think it's just about relationships, about how if you make a kid feel good, then they're not gonna disrespect you.
What about like in general? Like, is there one thing that
Like if an adult disrespects him. Sorry, I can't speak.
Yeah, you gotta try
like
to
at a
calm
bar,
down.
like if an adult disrespects you. All right, bro.
is there one? Is there one line?
No, it's your turn. It's your
All
turn.
right, yeah. Is there one thing that if somebody does it, like you have to fisticuffs? You gotta throw hands.
You gotta run it.
If it's anything with my kids, as a dad, I don't mind literally doing anything for my kids. If my kids are hurt, if an adult touches my kid, like it's, I'll just have to make sure I keep a lot of bail money handy because I'm gonna go
I'll start a GoFundMe.
crazy.
I'll start a GoFundMe if
That's
that ever
what
happens.
Patreon for.
I think it's just family is that important to me, especially like my kids. Like my kids are my everything. My kids are my world. So it's like I know it sounds cliche, but it's real. Like once you become a parent, it's like there's nothing you won't do.
I'm a parent. I'm his dad. So I love
Congratulations.
Nah, you know what?
Thinking
What
about
I
it.
find disrespectful is when Brendan tries to guard me.
All right,
That's
that's not
like-
disrespectful.
That's
Actually.
like, how could you actually believe that?
All
But
right.
anyway,
The unpopular opinion and it's disrespectful. I dig it. I'm with it.
All right, wait, talking about relationships. Do you have like any advice? I can't segue, bro. Like
he
relationships.
doesn't have it like I do.
I don't got like him.
Alright.
Do you have any advice for kids in high school in relationships? Like, what's like your one piece of advice? Like, I'm going to college. What's like you would say to them?
I would say my advice to kids in a relationship is if you can't be honest with yourself, don't get into a relationship. If you don't know exactly what you want, when you want it, how you want it, don't be in a relationship. It's not gonna work. You can't just be honest. If you're not ready for a relationship, you really shouldn't have one. And I mean ready like in the sense of like meeting the needs of someone else and having your needs met. If you can't do that, just be honest. If you don't really want a girlfriend, but you just want somebody like to be your companion or whatever it is you guys call it nowadays, like, hey, listen, I don't really want to date one person, but I really like your vibe and I want to hang out with you sometime and I'm going to hang out with her sometime too. So are you cool with that? I would say just be brutally honest. Like, well, not brutally honest, but honest enough where it's like your intentions are known that you're not just going to date one person or you're just not going to date, period. Like one or the other. You just got to be honest.
Do you think it's okay to like in high school to just like, not do you think it's okay, but do you think it's a good idea to just like not tie yourself down to one relationship?
I think it is. I think it's like and I hate to compare it this way, but I think you have to try out different things to know if you like it. So if you just are sticking with one thing for 4 years, you don't know what else is out there. Not that sometimes at some point in your life you find it that it's just so good that you don't need anything else outside of it. But if you're just starting out, you don't know what's good, what's bad, what's great, what's not. So you have to kind of figure that out through where you go.
Yeah, you gotta wiggle your way through.
I wouldn't say that. Wiggle your way through. Sure.
Yes, pause.
Let's go wiggle your way through. Let's go with that.
What's wrong with wiggling your way through?
we asked Kujini this, but he didn't really know what you know what an ick is.
An ick, yeah, I've heard of ick.
You've heard of
before.
it? Like,
Yeah.
what's like your biggest ick when it comes to like?
My-
I don't know if it's like girls, but like
to women? My biggest ick. My biggest ick is that if you don't have enough money for the lifestyle you want. Like if you want to walk around with a Birkin bag and go to $500 restaurants, but you work at
Five Below.
Five Below.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
you
Shout out
work
to
at-
all my Five Below workers.
We love you.
Five Below may want to sponsor this show is to get updates. Yeah, but if you work at like a minimum wage job, like you got to have a minimum wage attitude and a minimum wage. Like,
Pipe down. You don't make 15.25 in tips.
know?
You cannot be talking right now.
Right, like if you don't make
I
40,
make that.
I make 15.25 in tips.
I think that.
I
don't
walk
even make
around.
tips.
Listen.
Now I'm gonna go buy a Gucci bag.
right? Now you can get Ferragamo belts and all those things. You can just change your whole lifestyle now.
It's about what you project, really. If I
Listen.
project not being broke, one day I won't be broke.
No.
So you're projecting and to manifest later.
Yeah, let me give you an example right
Give
now.
me an
Here's been
example.
projecting
It's,
he's broke for a minute now. I
I'm
feel
projecting I'm broke.
Actually, you've been projecting that you can't guard me for a minute. It's
Yeah,
been
here we
really
go.
coming true.
I'm gonna use this example one more time.
All right.
All right.
Go ahead.
Because if Brendan
All
keeps
right.
on projecting, right, that he thinks he can guard me, it's not gonna happen. So
You just-
you're right. You're right about that. Maybe projecting isn't the best way to
What's your
go
biggest
about
ick?
life.
What's your biggest ick?
You.
All right.
I feel like that's kind of self-explanatory.
Isn't it obvious? It's you.
You just everything you do icks me. I don't know how you're. I'll stop. How about it?
I have an interesting one. Pretend you're dating a girl,
Mhm.
right? But you really don't like her friends.
No, I thought you really don't like her.
But you really don't like her best friend. Are you still like you hate her best friend is like maybe your worst enemy, but you really like this girl? Are you still dating her?
Nah. If I'm
Really?
not, I like because then I have to make her choose between somebody she's known for years and somebody that she wants to get to know for years after.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like my friendships are much more important than any relationship I'm going to form outside of like my kids.
That was a good answer.
Oh yeah.
I can't even hate.
Oh,
I can't even
I
hate.
forgot this was a personal question, isn't it? No?
It's for you. It is.
For me? All right, Brendan. Brendan has a lot of enemies.
I don't.
That's all right.
Including
Listen,
me.
it's nice to have nemesis. This way you can see them coming. It's fine. Just keep the grass low. You always see the snakes first. It's fine.
Mm.
Exactly.
It's a bar.
I feel like that's a Jay-Z bar somewhere.
It should
I can't
be.
think of it though.
Do you know
Let's
what
see,
the
I'm
Do you know what the
using that.
sassy man apocalypse is? Because people have been saying you've been infected by the sassy man apocalypse.
I've been called sassy. I take it as complimentary that I'm not gonna tolerate three things: disrespect, malfeasance, and shenanigans.
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 That
You know?
three quarters
You know?
of my life.
Listen, it's like at this point in my life, it's like I'm gonna just be me. I don't know how to be anything else, and
Mm.
I'm not too old to change, but I'm too old to want to change until I feel like the change is necessary.
Yeah.
So, sassy man's on board, I guess.
Sassy man.
It's just what it is now.
All aboard. All aboard.
Yeah. No, they don't call Brendan sassy. They call
All
him
right,
a
we're
loser.
done. We're done.
They call him just a loser.
They don't even
But-
call me your sass. They call him a woman. Like no sass, just straight woman.
Oh.
Whoa, what's the problem with that?
All right, never mind.
No, because you
No,
got
we gotta
to.
end more.
So we don't want to take any more of your time. We'll go ahead and end it right here. Do you want to? We had Kujini do the outro last time. Do you want to do the outro?
I don't watch I don't know the outro. I
Alright,
watch
go
all the
ahead.
interviews.
I'll tell you right now.
Tell me what the outro is.
Actually, can you move it and zoom in on?
Just zoom into his face like Keith Lee.
So you subscribe to my podcast, hi, haven't you? Lucky you. MySpace, Facebook, Tinder, YouTube, anywhere that you can swipe on something, like and subscribe. You've done it. Congratulations.
I tried to resist, thinking it away. Come chase beach views, feeling